the ice of a winter storm.
Hey everybody, Ethan here, Fisher Protocol. Talk about the Who. This is a bit of a different video, but it's one to say happy birthday to our favorite lead singer of all time, right? Roger, right? Happy birthday to you. And it's Roger's 80th birthday when I'm releasing this, and really want to, I wanted to do a quick video because I never do a video about Roger too very much, or never do one getting to the heart of what I admire about these men. And that is simply because it's a lot. It gets me emotional. It's not my favorite thing in the world. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say happy birthday, Roger. I was thinking really deep about why I admire Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey, our surviving members. Because when someone turns 80 and they've touched your life in such a significant way, I think it's good to reflect. I got choked up many times just thinking about what I would say on this video. And I was going to come up with the top 5 reasons, top 5 Roger Daltrey moments, blah, blah, blah. Going to put things in like being in Tommy and McVicker. And not just him trying to reach out and branch out, but realizing that while he's a good, a fair enough jobbing actor, he could have been a movie star if he could put up with the bullshit, and he decided that he didn't want to. And so after Tommy, he could have walked away, but he came back and he did McVicker. And, besides this base level, like, he didn't give up, which is just, it's just on the surface stuff. I wanted to get to, on his birthday, really what I admire about Roger Daltrey. One of the first things that came up was the fact that I don't make any bones about the fact that I'm not the biggest fan of his solo material. But Going Back Home with Wilco Johnson and As Long as I Have You are amazing records that were, one was recorded very fast, one I know took a while. They have no skips on them. They have no skips, and they're amazing records, and we really do need to review them here and give them the same treatment we've given Smash Your Head Against the Wall or Empty Glass, because they deserve it. They're amazing records, and maybe I just don't think about them because they came out later. One of the things I put was running during Who Are You as a child in 1989. I was so mesmerized by the fact that he ran on stage during the Who Are You at the Universal Amphitheater. He just ran through the whole thing and realized that I'm the age now he was doing that, and I can't do that. There are 3 things on his birthday that I would like to point out, and I might have trouble getting through them. I'm not going to go into details, I never do, and if there's any comments on this channel about it, I will delete them probably because I don't want it mentioned. But in 2002, when Pete had his trouble, Roger Daltrey was the first one, the very first one, in front of cameras and in front of microphones, saying, absolutely not, no, this is disgusting. This is a witch hunt, because this is my friend. Maybe we get along, maybe we don't sometimes, but I know that what you're saying about him is false. And it is false, and it was proven to be false. I don't want to go too deep because I really admire him for that. And because Roger Daltrey seems like a no bullshit kind of person to me. Hopefully that helped sway other people to the side of the right and the righteous in that situation. Because if Roger Daltrey says something, I believe it. He also called the Rolling Stones a mediocre pub band, and he should be knighted just for that. But what he really needs to be knighted for the Teenage Cancer Trust. He has, for 24 years, he's done these shows every year. And I know, because I've read bits and bobs here and there, that he's tried to, get other people to become the new patron or curator or whatever you want to say. But because they see how hard he works, no one's done it. They see what it takes to make it successful, to make it work. This man has put wings on hospitals. And because of his character and his gravitas and his no bullshit nature, people go with him, and it's raised an incredible amount of money, and it's changed a lot of lives, and he should be recognized for that. I don't know how. But he should be. And this is supposed to be a happy video because we're celebrating someone, but when I get too deep into these things about certain people like Roger Daltrey or Pete Townsend, or John Entwistle, or Keith Moon for that matter, it gets me. So this next one's going to be rough to say because I just don't go that deep that often on it. But he is the voice inside my head. He's the angry voice inside my head. I try not to have that too much these days, but for most of my days, from the time I was 10 or 11, for decades, I had an angry voice inside my head, and it was Roger singing Pete's words. And when Pete's thoughts are conveyed through this voice, it's the whole package, right? It's the tenderness of the words, and it's the anger that you feel on the outside. And yeah, he could break it down and be emotional when he wanted to, or Pete's anger in his lyrics. When Pete sings, it's mellow. If you listen to the two versions of Behind Blue Eyes between what Roger does and what Pete does, it's very obvious. Personally, I don't think Roger's Let My Love Open the Door really works because it's a nice and tender song. And, what I talked about Roger's two solo albums, what makes those so good is there's a lot of rock and roll in there, a lot of blues rock and rock and roll. And that's what he does best. That's why the album with Wilco Johnson works so well. But he's that voice inside my head, singing the things. He sings the things in the way I think about them, if that makes sense. And his voice is so omnipresent. The scream from Won't Get Fooled Again is so omnipresent. It's so hard to put in words what his voice, when he's singing specific songs, mean to me. Growing up, when I would sit in my room and listen to Get in Tune, Getting in Tune. When I used to listen to Getting in Tune when I was younger, I didn't know what the band really looked like on stage when I listened to that album. So in my mind, I knew what they looked like, and in my mind, Roger Daltrey was sitting at a piano playing and singing. Basically because he says he's with the chords I'm playing, that line. Those songs mean so much to me. And he's the voice on those songs. And we've waited years and years for him to get well, to go back on tour. He's the reason for the most concerts in my life being delayed or even being canceled, one of them. But, you know, I waited almost a year or two to see this man that I've had tickets for. And one time during Hits 50, I actually got one of the VIP tickets, and I was able to get really close once. And there's nothing to compare to what it's like being close to those guys during a show. It's amazing. Pete Townshend's amazing, but Roger Daltrey is amazing. He's touched my life. He's touched so many people I know's lives. I mean, I just wanted to say happy birthday to him, and we're lucky. We're lucky to be around. He's got a show coming up in San Diego. People are going to see that, are lucky. He tells us to be lucky. It's good advice. Just be lucky. Maybe because he's felt like he's been lucky. But he's taken that and he's chosen to help people. And for that, we can tip our hat and say thank you. So thank you. Thank you for listening. If you're watching this, happy birthday, Roger. Please go listen to Slip Kid, Pure and Easy. Go listen to Naked Eye. The best Who songs, sometimes the best Who songs, have both of these guys singing together. It's the only real comparison to Pink Floyd in that way. When the two forces of the band join, and when they get together now, something happens, and it's, whether it's tea and theater or whatever, it's kind of magic. So all this is the long way to say happy birthday, Roger Daltrey. We're so happy you're here with us, and we hope we get to see you again. And just you mean a lot, and happy birthday.